JJ Redick, all of this news with the Lakers and Dan Hurley, his interview talking about, oh, there was a number. I don't know what the number is, but there was a number for me to leave UConn. And my wife, she cried, and nobody cares no more. Like, it was a good story for 4 days. Let's just need to stop. So I'm not going to talk about it. I don't care to talk about it. I talked about it enough. But what I will talk about is the fact that JJ Redick officially is going to get his formal interview sometime this weekend. It could be happening right now, could be happening tomorrow. We don't know. But what I will say is that JJ has been patiently waiting his chance. He spoke to Rob Pelinka. They cleared the air in regards to Rob telling, hey, listen, we had to go pursue Dan Hurley. This is why things were kind of delayed. So, hopefully you're not mad. And I'm sure JJ was like, look, man, I understand. This is Dan Hurley. Go ahead and talk to him. Like, you know what I mean? I would probably hire him over me too, right? So I don't think that should be a slight to anybody. I've heard, people talk about, oh, well, should he be slighted because, he wasn't the first? Who cares? If you go get a job and they say, hey, listen, you're hired, and then you end up finding that Bill from wherever didn't get the job or he pulled out of the job and you got the job, who gives a fuck? Who cares how you got the job? If you want it, go get the job and do your business. Like, it doesn't matter about being like, people need to stop with that, right? Like, there's always going to be somebody that's maybe more qualified than you or better than you, or the company views them to be better than you. It doesn't matter. But once you get your opportunity, you need to kick the door down and do what you need to do. Who cares if he was first choice? It don't matter. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's not the biggest issue. Listen, I watch what's that show called on Netflix? Love is Blind, right? And they be going in that damn pod there, and somebody be like, listen, I love somebody else, and I'm gonna go that way, right? So what they do, they pick themselves up and they go get their second choice, and the second choice ends up being better than the first choice. Hey, ain't nothing wrong with that. You know what I'm saying? It's whatever happens, it happens for a reason. So the fact that JJ now has his shot, it's his job to lose. It's always been his job to lose from day one. I don't care what Woj tells me. I don't care what people want to say. He's been the target from day one. And I think that he's going to knock it out of the park. I think that he's going to show his ability to be able to put a staff together, put his X and O's together, put his plan together, and show Rob, show Jeannie, show the Rambi, whoever the hell is there, and go about that way. You know what? Matter of fact, hold on. The fact that I'm talking about Lakers, let's just do it the right way. Let's do it the right way. So, the fact that JJ is ready to roll. I like what I'm seeing. I like what I'm seeing. I like the fact that he's potentially going to be the next Laker coach. So here's a question that I've seen. Is the Lakers' job or the Lakers still a desirable destination? Got to take a pause because I would say yes. See, the thing is, brands get revamped all the time. Brands retool and regroup and figure out ways to stay relevant as the decades and time goes by. Is it the same brand that it was back in the 80s? No. Is it the same brand that it was back in the 90s? No. 2000s? No. But guess what's changed? The world has changed. People are not so locked into certain things anymore. Changing of the guard happens. Business models change. Ownership changes. Different styles change. So the fact that for people to say the Lakers are they not a desirable job? I would say they still are, but it all depends on winning. If the Yankees don't win, and they haven't won in quite some time in regards to a World Series, right? Is the Yankees brand still the same that it was back in the late 90s or early 2000s? No. But they have to now adapt. And if they get back to that winning formula that they had, the brand will rise again. Dallas Cowboys is one of the biggest brands in football in the world. Are they the same brand that they were back in the mid-90s when they were doing their damage? No. Why? Because they haven't won consistently. So once you win, it changes everything. And all it takes is one person. All it takes is one idea. All it takes is one trade, one group of guys to be able to come together and win consistently to make that switch happen. Golden State Warriors. Nobody cared about the Golden State Warriors 10 years ago or 15 years ago. They care about them now, don't they? Because winning created a new way of looking at this franchise. As they go along, they're going to have to maintain that or the brand will sink. It's just the way it is. We got a comment here from the real Darrell, excuse me. Lakers front office is dysfunctional. They only care about making money off LeBron. Golden State is going through the same phase right now. Yeah, I would say that they're definitely going through a transitional stage. You know what I'm saying? In regards to Golden State, it's tough when you are so successful and you set a bar so high. That's gonna come down at some point. You can't maintain that level forever. So you have to do your best to be able to revamp and retool. So yes, Gary Vitti, former Lakers trainer, was with the Lakers organization for damn near 30 years, said that he finds it hard to support the Lakers nowadays. He finds it hard to be able to support this team and how they're running things. And we've heard that Linda Rambis is going to be in the talks to, well, if she doesn't like the JJ situation, she can't sign her. Who gave Linda all of this damn power? Nobody cares. If she ain't Jeannie or Rob, who cares about what Linda Rambis has to say? If you're the best friend of the owner, you ain't got no say. You just need to chill the fuck out. So, yeah, there is some dysfunction here. Absolutely. I will never disagree with that. And yeah, there's a lot of Lakers legends that don't feel the same way about the franchise. That also is true. But all of that shit doesn't mean anything if you win. They need to win. And I believe that JJ Redick is the guy to be able to spearhead this team back to winning. I'm not saying it's going to happen right now. I don't know if they're going to be able to, crack the seal and be able to compete for these next 2 years. I don't know if LeBron's coming back. We don't know what the roster is going to be. We don't know what's going to happen in the draft. But what I can tell you is that JJ has the moxie and the basketball IQ and that grindability to be able to figure it out. We've seen so many coaches get plucked from obscurity and be successful. Doc Rivers never coached before. He coached Vinny Del Negro, Steve Kerr, Jason Kidd. Like, there's so many coaches that you can be able to pluck from and say, man, they didn't have any real experience like that, but they figured it out. If you're a great mind and you have great work ethic, you can possibly be a great head coach. Now, granted, you need the players. Absolutely. I've never seen a coach be successful without the dogs, without the horses, right? You need to make sure that you have those great athletes that can be able to put your plan into place, execute that plan, and be able to have role players that know their roles and hit timely shots. That's the game. So it's yet to be seen. But out of everybody that they were talking to, Dan Hurley, never been in the NBA before. I don't give a damn what he does in college. Who cares? This is not college. There's only been 4 coaches in college that have had NBA success. Quinn Snyder, Billy Donovan, Brad Stevens, and Larry Brown. That's the list. So I don't give a damn what Dan Hurley. Yeah, go back. Fine. You want to say that it wasn't a bargaining chip? Sure, Dan. Say what you want to say. People are going to have their opinions. You'll have yours. And we'll never know the truth because that's just the way it is. But I think JJ Redick can be able to do the job. This is not a guy that has not been tapped into the NBA. He's a lead announcer for the NBA Finals. He has his own podcast where he breaks the game down. Mind the Game with LeBron James. You hear this guy speak. He's very intelligent. He knows what he's talking about. Also, too, you got to remember, the Lakers coaches that have had success, I'm talking about real success, not guys that are like 15 games over 500, real success. And if we're just going to use 2 coaches, Phil Jackson, Pat Riley, what is so similar about those guys? They're just characters. Phil Jackson was a character. He was big enough to handle the Los Angeles stage. Pat Riley, the same thing. He was able to mold himself into that character. Slick back hair, nice suits on the sideline, aggressive, aggressive, made sure that he kept his team locked in. Character. You can be able to appeal to that. I think the JJ is the same thing. Yeah, it plays. Hey, well, I didn't know if rumored. Now, I like to put this in quotations. Rumored to not want to play for him because they don't know if he can be able to hold LeBron account. Shut up. What does that matter? What if you're on the team and he can be able to make sure that you're prepared, you're productive, you're developing? What do you care about what LeBron does? LeBron is LeBron. You think that Phil Jackson didn't give Jordan special treatment? You don't think that David Robinson and Tim Duncan got special treatment at times? It happens. So what you worried about them for? Worry about yourself. We all know that if JJ gets the job, he's not going to have a podcast no more. He got no time for that shit. He got to be worrying about answering to the Los Angeles media. He has to worry about game tape. He has to break that down. He got to worry about practice. He got to worry about executing and putting certain plays into certain defensive schemes, or speaking to his coaches, understanding what's going on, looking at the draft, looking at trades, looking at how they can be able to improve the team, speaking to Rob Pelinka, speaking to Jeannie. Like, there's going to be so much stuff for him to do. He ain't going to have no time for no podcast. So for anybody to even use that as a talking point,
dummy, yeah.
Like, you want me?
Dummy, yeah.
Come on now. Like, there's no reason for you to even use that because it's null and void if he takes the job. So stop. That don't make sense. It really does not make sense. Okay, it says the ownership and front office was on the same page. Jerry Buss and Jerry West knew how to make moves to help the Lakers stay on top. When those guys get old, Lakers crumble. Listen, 100%. You got to remember that in every sport, in all sports, when your front office is in sync and everything is running smoothly up there, there's a trickle-down effect. Give me a front office that's well run, and you'll see a team that is consistently winning, whether they're winning championships or consistently in contendership. That's what you're going to see, right? So 100%, I mean, there's not a lot of teams out there that had that level of stability for X amount of time. Things change. I agree that there's a lot of things that need to happen for them to be able to get back to a point where people look at them a different way. But I'm also saying that despite all of that, Despite how people feel about Rob, despite how people feel about this, if they win, it don't matter. If they win, no Laker fan is going to be out there, well, you know, 165 games, but we still need to get Genie out of here. Like, we winning. We ain't got no time to be worrying about that shit. You know what I'm saying? So I think JJ is going to knock it out of the park. I think he's going to do well in his interview. And I honestly believe that once the interview is completed, we will hear about it. We probably won't hear about how great it went or the finite details of it, obviously. But very shortly after that, there's going to be an offer. And there comes the other part of this, is that people have been telling JJ Redick that, are they sure he wants the job? Are you sure you want to take that responsibility on? Are you sure you want this particular job? Anybody that's worth anything, that believes in themselves, that understands that they too are box office, won't run from this position. There's certain people that are built for prime time, bright lights, and there's certain people that are built for Boise, Idaho. It's just the way it is. Some people can play with the big lights on them and it doesn't faze them, while some guys look around at the lights and they start to panic. So if JJ feels that he's the right man for the job and this is the job that he wants and he will take that job, then he's ready for the challenge because he understands what comes with that. He's played in Los Angeles before. Not saying he with the Lakers, he played with the guys in the basement, but Los Angeles, there is always going to be eyes on you, and you're always going to get more attention than anywhere else. That's just the way it is. He understands the landscape. He understands the landscape. So we'll see that.